Welcome, welcome, welcome. I would like to welcome you to another episode of the Unpopular Podcast. This is the man, the myth, the legend, Jalen Hunter. And if you do me a favor, please subscribe to the YouTube channel. I would appreciate, I'm trying to reach 1,000 subscribers, so anything to help. Also, it's getting cold outside, yo. Get you Unpopular Podcast. Get some merch. I got some hoodies. I got some long sleeves, some sweaters. Go get some Unpopular Podcast merch today. But here's where we'll start. So last episode, I filmed it on Tuesday. Episode come out Wednesday, and I filmed it before the World Series or before game 6 of the World Series, and I wasn't able to announce on Wednesday that the Braves won the World Series, so I'm going to do that today. Congratulations to the Braves for winning the World Series, winning their first World Series in 26 years. Hey, man. The Braves did exactly what I thought. Well, the Braves are a representation of what or where the MLB is going. If you look back, and I've been talking about this for a while now, but if you look back, most of the time, most of the teams that won the World Series would be the big market, big budget teams, the Yankees, the Dodgers, Boston to a certain extent. Those teams that had the biggest budget, they had networks. You have the Yes Network for the Yankees. They were just able to buy players because baseball has no salary cap. They were able to buy players. They had a bigger, I guess you can say, bigger price tag to the team or bigger spending budget, let's say, because they're in the big market. Players want to go, and you even see it today. The only difference is that was, those big market teams and that philosophy of just pay people was winning. It was winning back in the day. It's not now. Hell, look at some of the most expensive payrolls in the MLB. You have the Dodgers. They lost to the Braves. You have the Yankees. They lost in the wild card to the Boston Red Sox. You have some of these more expensive teams, and it's like they're not winning anymore. And again, man, shouts out to the Braves. I'm not gonna stay on this long because it's kind of old, but shouts out to the Braves. Shouts out to George Soler. If I butcher your name, I apologize, bro. George Soler. He was like the second Hispanic, I believe, to win the World Series MVP. Man, now the Braves have some decisions to make. What are you gonna do with Freddie Freeman? They got to pay some people, but they did something. Hell, when I did the prediction of, who I thought was going to win the World Series, I had, I kind of went for the surprise factor. I think I had the White Sox winning, and I was completely off. And again, man, it was a magical run. It was a magical run, and it just feels good. I don't know. You kind of feel, when I was watching it, man, I just felt myself rooting for it. Now, rooting for the Braves. Now, I don't really care. Now, of course, what happened with the Astros a couple years ago, people are still upset about that with the whole cheating thing. But I wasn't really rooting against the Astros because of that. I was rooting for the Braves because we know the history of Atlanta sports, or at least the recent history of Atlanta sports, not just the Braves, Atlanta sports, whether it's the Falcons 28-3, whether it's Georgia losing, it's just the Atlanta Hawks. I mean, making it to the Eastern Conference Finals just to get their doors blown off by the Milwaukee Bucks with injured Giannis. So it's like, we know the history of Atlanta sports, and we were just waiting, man. Like that's one reason why I didn't even pick them, because I was just like, it's Atlanta. But I'm seeing some of the hits and seeing, the city of Atlanta surround this team, and it felt good. Now, I'm not from or in Atlanta, but I was just rooting for him, man. It was like the underdog thing. So shouts out, man. Shouts out. Man. It feels good. It feels good. Now I know I'm not a Braves fan, but it feels good seeing the Braves win. And shouts out to them for winning their first World Series in 26 years. So shouts out to you guys. I wanted to start the show off with that because when I recorded last time, it was before the World Series. So while it did happen on Tuesday, I want to give it its fair due today. So shouts out to the Braves. Let's move forward, though. Let's move forward to a more pressing issue, or a more, I guess, relevant topic at this point, and that is the whole Aaron Rodgers situation. So, Aaron Rodgers caught COVID, and it kind of took people by surprise because if you remember, the beginning of the year, he said that he was immunized. Now, if you out there, anyone that's listening, if you're like me, don't know what the hell immunized means, or you have not heard the word immunized until they said it, I looked it up for y'all, so you ain't got to worry. The Center for Disease Control and Prevention, CDC, says the difference between immunization and vaccination. Vaccination is the act of introducing a vaccine into the body to produce immunities to a specific disease. Immunization, I apologize, is a process by which a person becomes protected against a disease through vaccination. Meaning, just because you're immunized does not mean that you're vaccinated. Now, you could be immunized from vaccination. What I'm gathering, because again, I'm slow in this area, so all the people that want to comment, all the doctors, hey, I don't know. I kind of know what I'm talking about, kind of don't. I'm looking at definitions. Immunization means that they put something in your body that's not really that's not a vaccine. It could be the disease itself, or it could be the virus itself. And then I guess your body develops immunities. I don't know. Well, all I know is that Aaron Rodgers is not vaccinated. Now, again, it goes back to the whole Kyrie situation, and we're going to tie that in. Most definitely tie that in. But it goes back to, look, we can't tell somebody what to put in their body. You know, we can't. What you got going on is what you got going on. It's a decision. It's a choice. Now, with every choice comes a consequence. With every decision with every action comes with effect. I urge people to get the vaccine. I think that, if everyone gets the vaccine, you can develop, we all come together, develop antibodies, whatever it is, to beat this thing that we have COVID. I mean, COVID had us in the house for a whole year. You know what I mean? So I may be for, right? I may be for the vaccine. However, you can't tell somebody what to put in their body. It's their decision. Now, with that decision, like I said, they accept the consequences that they have with the decision. What I appreciate about Kyrie Irving is Kyrie Irving has made the decision and he's standing on the consequences. The decision is, hey, I'm not getting the vaccine. The consequence, he's not able to play right now for the Brooklyn Nets. Here's the problem that I have. Here's my problem, let's say, that I have with the Aaron Rodgers situation. It's not the fact that he's not vaccinated. That's not the problem. The problem is you went about it as in making people think that you were vaccinated. Because the question that the reporter asked was, are you vaccinated? And he said, yes, I'm immunized. Yes, I'm immunized, and are you vaccinated? Clearly are two different answers. Or one is the question, you didn't answer the question. Well, you lied because you said yes. But then you're not vaccinated. So you lied, but then you said you're immunized. Look, here's the thing. The biggest problem that I have, now I don't know if he went to his teammates. I don't know what he did. The biggest problem I have with this is there could be people in the locker room, there could be people that you come in contact with every day that may not have the strongest immune system that you have. Case in point, rest in peace to the great Colin Powell. I apologize. Colin Powell, fully vaccinated, but he did have a weak immune system. I think he had a rare type of cancer, and unfortunately, because catching COVID, and on top of that, you have, even though he was fully vaccinated, you have it. You have underlying issues. He had cancer, and he was dealing with a lot of stuff physically. He unfortunately passed away. Great Colin Powell, one of the greatest, or one of the most influential African Americans ever. And that's what I think about. I think about the people that are, and again, if you tell them, it is what it is. But the people that you're around, some people don't have some people are not asymptomatic. Some people don't have the strongest immune system that you have. So the fact that you are putting people at risk, and you're putting people at risk unbeknownst to them, is different if people know you're not vaccinated and still want to, bang with you, rock around you. Cool. I'm not saying don't do that. I have friends that aren't vaccinated. I have people in my immediate circle that are not vaccinated. I make the decision if I want to go around them or not. I'm not saying isolate them or whatever. I do think that you have to be careful around people that are not vaccinated, because again, you never know. But the thing is, when you're around somebody that you're under the impression that they're vaccinated, but they're not. That's the biggest issue I have with Aaron Rodgers. And the fact that he's kind of standing on this, like, he went on Pat McAfee show. Shouts out to Pat McAfee show. That's one of the shows, it's an inspiration of mine. I look to that show a lot. He was just talking, bro. It's like he was, talking about the Martin Luther King and, cancel culture. But no, bro, you lied. You lied. That's what it was. You lied. People want to compare Aaron Rodgers to Kyrie Irving. To me, Aaron Rodgers is worse than Kyrie. Kyrie ain't lie about what's up. Kyrie said, I'm not getting the vaccine. Aaron Rodgers said, I'm immunized. And people like myself that are not as educated in the situation would think, oh, okay, he's vaccinated. We cool then. No, that is not the case. So I just say be careful, man. And it's it's unfortunate because, like, it's worse to me because and it goes to part two of this whole situation. That is the media coverage of this. So a lot of people want to target Stephen A. Smith right now, because Stephen A. Smith is one of the people, like, was at the front of the Kyrie Irving bash. He was going hard with Kyrie, and a lot of people, including myself, doesn't think the same energy was used in speaking with Aaron Rodgers or speaking about the Aaron Rodgers situation. And I'm one of the people, again, I think that this Aaron Rodgers situation is worse because you lied. Or I'm not going to say you lied. You lied. You lied. So there's people that you came in contact with, that you're around. And he said that he was allergic. A lot of things that he was saying on the Pat McAfee show, like he has an allergy or something that he's allergic to is in the is in the vaccine, or fertility problems, which the CDC and doctors have all said that there is no correlation to the vaccine and fertility problems. It's just a bad look. And what's unfortunate about the whole situation is there's nothing there. I mean, like, what do you do? What do you do now? Aaron Rodgers is out. He's not going to play on Sunday. It's like, what do you do? This is why it's just, we're in a weird spot in sports right now. It's unfortunate. If it was me, I would probably suspend Aaron Rodgers for longer than maybe a game or two because you lied. You lied to the organization. You lied to now again. I don't know what he said. I don't know what he said behind closed doors to his friends, to the organization, whatever. But I know what he said to the media, and he made people in the media and people outside believe that he was vaccinated when he really wasn't. It's crazy, man. I mean, being immunized is not does not mean you're vaccinated. I just want to make that very clear. So, and I think that the coverage, I'm not gonna say it's too light. I think that the coverage is what the coverage is. There's people talking about it. There's people that giving their opinion. There's people feel how they feel, and they're covering it. So I'm not saying that the coverage of the situation from a lot of the medias or media organizations, a lot of the media outlets are bad. I'm not going to say that. But what I am saying is I think that they kind of overdid it with the Kyrie. I think they went way too hard with the Kyrie, and you see that a lot. You see that a lot, African Americans and Caucasians, how the media covers them. And I think that the media went incredibly too hard on Kyrie Irving. And don't get me wrong, I don't think that, I'm not saying that what Kyrie is doing is right. I think it's right for him. He's making a decision for himself. So if that's what he feels is best, then that's what he feels is best. But I just think that the media is properly covering the Aaron Rodgers thing, but didn't properly cover the Kyrie Irving thing. And I'll leave it at that. So let's move forward. The other big bombshell, well, it wasn't really a bombshell. The other big news was the Browns restructured Odell Beckham Jr.'s deal, then released him. It got muddy. Odell Beckham Jr. and his father, that was his father putting out tweeting an 11-minute clip of all the times Baker Mayfield missed him when he was wide open. Odell Beckham Jr. not saying nothing about it. It got bad, and the writing pretty much was on the wall. For the people that's saying that Odell Beckham Jr. is washed up, he's not. Emmanuel Acho, shouts out to him. Emmanuel Acho on Speak for Yourself says something that I didn't really think about. Do I think that a lot of the situation is Baker Mayfield's problem or Baker Mayfield's reasoning? Yes, I do think, I do think that a lot of this is Baker Mayfield's fault. I mean, get Odell Beckham Jr. the ball. For some reason, he just wasn't looking Odell Beckham Jr.'s way. I think that the first year, he was too overly trying to get Odell Beckham Jr. the ball. And then after that, it was just like, all right, that's kind of messing up the game plan. The problem is he didn't have a healthy balance. It was either all we're doing is trying to go to Odell Beckham or we're not going to him at all. And I don't think that he had a healthy balance. But Emmanuel Acho said something that was kind of that I didn't know. He was talking about Kevin Stefanski. And don't get me wrong, Kevin Stefanski is a great coach. He was coach of the year. What he did for the Vikings, what he's doing for the Browns. He's a good coach. But every time he went to a team, the star receivers, their touches went down. He gave an example with Stephon Diggs, Adam Thielen. The year before Stefanski was there, they had their numbers were high. When Kevin Stefanski went there, they were low. Same with Odell Beckham Jr. It all decreased, and it does go to scheming a little bit. Now, some of the great quarterbacks, they're able to call out of things. You're able to we're going to scrap this play, do this. You see that a lot with Tom Brady. You see that a lot with Aaron Rodgers. They're going to scrap the play like, hey, we're not doing that. This is what we're doing. And usually successful because you have a record of success. People don't really look, they don't really say, wait, what is he doing? It is what it is. And I don't think Baker Mayfield has that pool, but still at the same time, Odell Beckham Jr. is open. Give him the ball. So the question now is, where is Odell Beckham Jr. going to go? You know what I mean? Like, there's a lot of people to make waiver claims. If he's They said that the because of the restructured deal, the Browns owe him like $7.25 or something like that $1 million if he's claimed. He's going to be claimed. I think you can claim him starting Monday at like 4:00. He's going to get claimed. You have a lot of teams like the Seahawks have put it in there, the Lions, Washington football team. There's been a lot of teams. Some team, I would love to see him with the Packers. Him alongside Devonta Adams would be great. I would love to see him with Baltimore. How him and Lamar Jackson fit. You see teams like the Patriots, they need a number one receiver. The Saints, we'll talk about them in a second with Michael Thomas. So there's a lot of look. If you think Odell Beckham Jr. is washed up, I know that he's had an injury history since leaving or just getting traded from New York, but Odell Beckham Jr. is still Odell Beckham Jr. I do think that he does need a solid year to prove himself again, as far as we know what he was, but he hasn't been that in a few years due to injury and everything. But it's still Odell Beckham Jr. and he can still. It's kind of like the AB situation, not off the field situation, but it's kind of like AB situation. As you go to, a lot of people are saying just because it didn't work in the Steelers, just because it didn't work in New England, just because it didn't work in Las Vegas, he's washed up. No, again, I'm not comparing Odell Beckham Jr. and AB off the field because they're completely different. But on the field, you put AB in the right situation, i.e. with Tom Brady in Tampa, and AB's looking like the AB of old. He is hurt right now, but when he's on the field, AB looked like he hasn't lost a step. So, I think the relationship that Cleveland had with Odell Beckham Jr., it had to break off. It just wasn't working at all. And I think both needed a good start. I don't like not only the coverage of this situation, because a lot of people are bashing Odell Beckham Jr. Like, you're seeing a lot of his old teammates or a lot of his teammates and executives or whatever from the Browns talking about, he didn't really talk to anybody. He came in and he just did what he was supposed to do and left. Bruh. Look, I don't know if you know this, but not everybody in the locker room are friends. Doesn't mean that you can't coexist. Doesn't mean that you can't win a championship. Not everyone's going to be friends. I don't need to come and talk to you every day. Like, whatever. And a lot of people are, it's just, how the media does. And fans are always going to ride for the team. Fans are always going to ride for the team. So, Browns fans are killing Odell Beckham Jr. No. Like, you're still losing, even though Jarvis Landry has kind of turned into your number one receiver. But a lot of that is because Baker Mayfield feeds him. It is a big loss. So we'll see how it goes. And I'm interested to see how it goes. So, but let's move forward. So week nine is here, and I'm going to give my week predictions. We can start Thursday night. Thursday night football, the Colts beat the Jets 45-30. Nothing really the Colts did what they were supposed to do. Jonathan Taylor and Carson Wentz destroyed the Jets. The Jets really, it was a good game the first maybe quarter, and then just something. It was 10-10. I think it was 10-10 with like 5 minutes left in the second quarter. At halftime, it was 28-10. I'm like, good God. Like, it's the Jets. It's the Jets. And the Colts did what they were supposed to do. Right now, they're 4-5. They did what they're supposed to do. Let's move over to Sunday. You have the Falcons at Saints. I have the Falcons in that one because the report came out that Trevor Siemian will be starting. And while, yes, the defense of the Saints is good, and you still have Alvin Kamara, I just think that I don't know if Trevor Siemian, there's a reason why he's a backup, or there's a reason why he's a backup to the backup, like he's a third string, because he's honestly behind Taysom Hill, but Taysom Hill's not ready to go. I have Atlanta winning. I just think Matt Ryan hasn't had the best season, but I do trust him over Trevor Siemian, and I do think that Atlanta is going to try to rally around this week, because we know the stories of Calvin Ridley and him stepping away from football right now. I think that's going to kind of galvanize him. Yo, let's get this win for Calvin. So I have the Atlanta winning that one. The Broncos at Cowboys. I have Cowboys. The Broncos. I don't think they're going to keep up scoring wise with Dak Prescott. I mean, Dak Prescott's an MVP candidate, and this offense is explosive from Amari Cooper to CeeDee Lamb to Wilson to Tony Pollard, Zeke. I just don't think that the Broncos, I haven't seen them be able to win in a shootout. And that's, I think, is going to have to happen because, losing Von Miller or trading Von Miller, you do lose a big piece. The defense is still good, but it's Von Miller. So I have the Cowboys winning that one. Patriots at Panthers. I'm going to go with the Patriots because it's still not clear if Sam Darnold's going to play. And honestly, at this point, it's not clear what Sam Darnold we're going to get. The defense, the Panthers defense is still good. And Christian McCaffrey might play, but it's not looking too good. Patriots, you still know that defense. Mac Jones isn't incredible, but he's not doing anything to really lose you the game. So I'm going to have the Patriots winning that one. Vikings at Ravens. I have Baltimore. They're coming off a bye week. The week before the bye week, they got destroyed by Cincinnati. So not only do you have that on your shoulder, you have a week of rest, and you're going against a Vikings team that just lost to Cooper Rush in the Cowboys. So I think it was Sunday? It was Monday Night Football. So I have the Ravens winning that. No, it was Sunday night. Monday night was the Giants and Chiefs. I have the Ravens winning that game. Browns at Bengals. I have the Bengals. The Bengals just got embarrassed by the Jets, and I think that's going to give them fuel. Not to mention, Baker Mayfield didn't have the best showing against the Steelers. Now, of course, a lot of people aren't going to have the best showing against the Steelers because of that defense. But and of course, don't get it confused. The Steelers defense is way, way better than the Bengals. But I think Joe Burrow and Jamar Chase and that wide receiver core is going to have a field day on the secondary of the Browns, which we thought coming into the season was highly improved, but we don't really know. Like, it hasn't really shown. I mean, they're 4-4 for a reason. So I have the Bengals winning that one. The Bills at Jaguars. Come on now. The Jaguars are 1-6. The Bills are 5-2. Now, anything can happen, but no. The Bills winning this one. Tennessee at Dolphins. Even though they're both 1-7, I don't think that this is. I mean, the Dolphins to me are probably one of the biggest underachieving teams of the year, in my opinion. I had them at least going to the playoffs or fighting for a spot in the playoffs, and they haven't been good, honestly. But I do think they've been better than the Texans. So I have the Dolphins winning that one. Raiders at Giants. I have the Raiders. The Giants. Now, Saquon Barkley might play. He come back from an ankle injury. Then they had a whole mix-up with the testing of COVID. So he was on the COVID list. Now he's off the COVID list. His ankle should be better. So we'll still see. Kenny Galladay, we don't know if he's going to play. You don't know. But, the Raiders are, you still have Derek Carr. You still have Darren Waller. You still have Josh Jacobs. I have the Raiders winning that one. Chargers at Eagles. I have Chargers. I mean, the Chargers are a better team. I trust Justin Herbert more than I trust Jalen Hurts. That's just, it is what it is. I have the Chargers winning that one. Packers at Chiefs. To me, this game would have definitely went to Packers if Aaron Rodgers was playing, but because Jordan Love's playing and he's, there's a reason why he's a backup right now, I'm going to go with the Chiefs, even though I'm not saying the Chiefs have come out of whatever the hell they're dealing with right now, which is why they've had a bad season. I do think that the Chiefs, I trust Patrick Mahomes more than I trust Justin Love. And I think Patrick Mahomes, well, we know that at some point this ship is going to have to steer in the right direction. And I think that this is going to be the start of it. So I have the Chiefs winning this one. Arizona at 49ers. I have Arizona. The 49ers is another team that I think is drastically underachieved this year. I thought that, on paper, they have the best roster in the league, or one of the best rosters in the league, but they're 3-4, and the Cardinals, they're coming off a loss against the Packers, and I think that they're going to be hungry. So I have the Cardinals winning that one. Tennessee at Rams. Don't get it confused. I understand Tennessee just signed Adrian Peterson, but Adrian Peterson at this point of his career is not Derrick Henry, and they're not going anywhere with Derrick Henry. Not to mention the Rams just got Von Miller, so while a team got worse, a team got better. I have the Rams winning that one. In Monday Night Football, I have the Bears at Steelers. I think this is going to be a good game. I just think that, like we've seen majority of the year, the Steelers are going to get carried by their defense and the running game, and Big Ben's just going to do just enough. I don't know. I don't think Justin Fields is ready to handle a defense that is the Steelers defense, and I have the Steelers winning that game. So those are my picks. Let me know who you have winning. Who's your favorite team? What are they going to do? And let me know if you think I'm wrong. So let's move forward. Before we go, two serious topics. So as we know about the Henry Ruggs situation. Henry Ruggs was driving drunk, and he hit somebody, like a car crash. He was going like 156, I think, and at impact he was like at 125. Unfortunately, he killed a young lady and her dog, and now he's facing, he has DUI. I think his blood or his alcohol toxicity level or something was 2 times the limit. And now he's facing criminal charges. He's been dropped by the Raiders. Rest in peace to the young lady that unfortunately passed away due to the recklessness of somebody else. And, hey, man, it goes back to the Aaron Rodgers thing, man. Not saying Aaron Rodgers on the same level, but it goes back to the Aaron Rodgers thing. Once you make a decision, you have to live with that consequence. And a lot of people were saying, well, Jay, he was drunk. He didn't know. He was inebriated. He wasn't in his right mind to make the right decisions. And my rebuttal is, it's like a journey, to get from your house to the situation that you were in. There is a lot of no's that could have happened, that could have been said. There's a lot of no's, a lot of let's stop here's that could have happened, that didn't happen. There was a lot of red lights. No, let me not say that, because there's a lot of ways that this situation could have went differently if you would have just made one decision, and you chose not to make that decision, and those no's got to this. So I have no sympathy for Henry Ruggs. It's unfortunate. It's very unfortunate that not only a young lady and her dog passed away, but a man's life is now drastically changed due to a decision that didn't have to be made. Hell, you hear all the time, these people are professional athletes. There's a lot of things due to money that they can afford that a lot of people can't. Which means another decision that could have been made. I don't drink, so I don't know. But I know that I'm sure that there's a feeling that when you're drunk, or when you're tipsy. Let's just say he was drunk. When you're drunk, I'm sure there's that's a feeling that you have that you're drunk. Meaning, bruh, Uber, professional driver. Apparently his girlfriend was there. She could have drove if she wasn't drunk. Like, there's a lot of decisions that could have been made that weren't. And unfortunately, a person's life is over because of decisions that weren't made. And now his life is drastically changed. If a man's facing, I think it's like 40 years in jail or 20 years or something in jail for a decision or decisions. So, and a lot of people ask me, let's switch gears a little bit. A lot of people ask me how I felt about the Robert Sarver, report, the report that ESPN dropped, the work environment that Robert Sarver from the Phoenix Suns, the work environment, racist work environment, sexist, toxic work environment. The people asking me how I felt about it, And honestly, and I think, unfortunately, a lot of black people felt the same way I felt, hearing the report, reading the report, seeing the details of the report. They weren't surprised. Look, there's still an investigation. In fact, there's still an investigation that they won't even release the findings of the Washington football team and Dan Snyder. Hell, can somebody tell me what was the outcome of the sex ring thing that the cheerleaders were doing, or that Dan Snyder and the Washington football team was making the cheerleaders do? Can somebody tell me the outcome of that? What I'm saying is, and this is not absolving Robert Sarver at all. What we're saying is, don't think that this isn't surprising. African Americans have dealt with this for their entire, a lot of people for their entire, in fact, for the entire, since we were brought over here in slavery, we dealt with this. We dealt with toxic environments, if you want to call it. Not saying that slavery was much worse, of course, than now. But we've been dealing with this. Higher ups that are Caucasian, because you have money, because you have status, you can get away with a lot of things. It's just we're at a point in time where a lot of people aren't taking it anymore. But again, this isn't surprising. I was reading this like, damn, he did that. The N-word, huh? Yeah, a lot of people think just because they're around black people or because they are owners of a basketball or football team, they can say it, because a lot of black people walk through their office. But no. It's unfortunate, but it's not surprising. It's really not surprising. Because Robert Sarver got caught, just because John Gruden got caught, don't think that there aren't other owners in basketball, football, baseball. Don't think that do not think that there's no other owners, no other coaches, no other higher ups that don't have the same environment that maybe the Phoenix Suns had, or possibly the Washington football team, or the Vegas Raiders have. Just saying. But there you have it. That has been today's show. This is a quick one because, I got a lot going on. But I appreciate you guys. Again, it's getting cold outside, man. Get your Unpopular Podcast merch today. Hey, go get your merch. Go get your hoodies. Go get your sweaters. Go get your long sleeves. Go get your Unpopular Podcast merch. Also, please subscribe to the YouTube channel, man. I'm trying to reach 1,000 subscribers, so anything will help. I appreciate you guys. I love you guys. And until next time, much love.